gentlemen, it's the drum corps from City Middle High School. Well, what a great way to start the program. Thank you to the drum corps from the City Middle High School. It's terrific. Welcome to the 10th annual Mindshare event of the Grand Rapids Student Advancement Foundation. I'm Lynn Affendoulis, president of the board, and once again I have the opportunity to help out with this evening. And now, in addition to being blind, I'm deaf. But that was fabulous. This is a very big night for us tonight. We're celebrating a number of milestones and the people who have made them happen. And we're looking ahead to the needs and the opportunities that still face us. For those of you new to the SAF, we were founded in 1993 by community leaders who recognized the need for funders to have a pass-through organization for their investment in Grand Rapids Public Schools, and primarily at that time in athletics. Years later, those community leaders, at the behest of then Superintendent Bert Blakey, decided to expand the foundation's focus and efforts, and that led to the rebirth of the SAF in 2003 with a new board, a new mission, and a new executive director in Susan Hartwell. Today, we link the resources of this generous community to the needs of our city students with the vision of the day when there are no barriers to our students achieving their full potential. Absolutely. The SAF isn't a cure or a fix. While others are focused on the critical work of systemic education reform, we are there for the children who are in classrooms today. Children whose education can't wait for reform, who need and deserve the same educational resources, standards, and expectations afforded students in other districts. A line on a map or a zip code shouldn't mean the difference between opportunity and despair. So, over the past 10 years, we focused on leveling the playing field and creating hope where too little exists. We started with literacy and our $1.6 million campaign to bring our schools' libraries up to national standards. Thanks to donors, so many of you in this room tonight, we purchased approximately 100,000 books for 47 school libraries during the 4-year campaign. And we've added another 30,000 in our ongoing efforts to maintain our library since. So today, our kids have access to the same kinds of libraries as students in other districts. As one library aide said, our library is a beautiful, welcoming place to be with a large selection of great books that is due in great part to the Student Advancement Foundation, and we're very proud to have played a role in that. In the arts, we've been able to provide all elementary school students with significant enrichment experiences at every grade level, whether that's performances at the Civic Theater or programs at Fred Meyer Gardens. Every student in every grade level gets a different experience each year. For most of our city students, it's the first and only such experience, and for many, the experiences are life-changing. And we've purchased reeds and valve oil, cork grease, band books, music, drumsticks, crayons, paint, paper, all those tools that kids need to have an enriching and fulfilling arts education experience. Then last year, we got involved in elementary sports programs. Why? Because Superintendent Neal, who knows the district better than anyone, said it was needed and knew it would resonate with students, educators, and families, and she was absolutely right. Thanks to our donors and to the district's planning and enthusiastic execution, some 3,000 elementary school students are involved in after-school soccer, cross-country, basketball, and track this year. The other cool thing about that is that their coaches are high school students and parents and teachers. The impact of all this is really immeasurable. It's getting kids active, which we hope will play a mitigating role in the childhood obesity and diabetes epidemics. It's giving older kids the opportunity to practice responsibility and leadership skills. It's preparing kids for team sports so that it isn't a foreign concept to them by the time they get to high school, which has been a problem in the district. And it's building community. The athletic office reported that nearly 9,000 spectators attended 6 days of elementary school basketball games this year. That's unprecedented, and it's thanks to the donors who are allowing us to make that happen, so thank you. Tonight, we're celebrating these successes and the people who make so much possible for our city students. And right now, I'd like to mention one of those people. Joan Secchia is one of our founding members and has been with the SAF for 20 years, but that only begins to tell the story of her commitment and impact. She brought our founding scholars and many board members to the table, myself included. She continually identifies opportunities for our students and then figures out ways to make them happen. She attends countless meetings, reviews all material with a critical and helpful eye, and she has strong relationships with people in the district and among its partners. She is, in a word, our angel, and after being on the board for 20 years, Joan has decided it's time to retire. I promised Joan that Mindshare wouldn't be about her, and I'm keeping my promise. So Joan, while Mindshare isn't about you, I hope this tribute is okay. Joan loves napkin rings, and she uses them to set the most delightful tables. In her honor, Grand Rapids Public School students of all ages, led by 12 teachers, made the napkin rings that you see at your tables in their art classes. In fact, one teacher who's with us tonight, Tiffany Snyder, and her students made 400 of the napkin rings that you see here. So thank you, Tiffany, and thank you to all the art students and the teachers. Joan will never be able to repay you, nor would you want that, but consider these rings a token of our love and the respect that we have for you at the SAF and at Grand Rapids Public Schools. We are blessed by you and we're grateful for you, and I have a set just for you to take home. And for the rest of you, the person at each table whose birthday is closest to today, April 23rd, can take home the napkin rings, except you, Peter. No. You have a box. Okay, it's time to enjoy a meal in the company of those at our tables, and to offer the invocation is a leader who exemplifies dedication to our youth and selfless devotion to our community. As our city and neighboring towns have struggled with devastating floods this week, his encouraging words and hands-on leadership have fed a collective spirit of determination and compassion. And he leads all initiatives from tackling hunger to promoting opportunity for our youth with the same heart and resolve. We are fortunate to call him our mayor, George Hartwell.
Please pray with me. In the seasons of our life, gracious God, we trace your handiwork. We acknowledge the work you place before us, work of caring for the most vulnerable of your creation, the children. And we celebrate successes that by your grace we have known. In times of need, this community has responded with compassion and generosity. For all those who have given a measure of their wealth or a portion of their time, we give thanks and we take hope from their willing spirits. Milestones of grace, of faith, and generosity mark the way to the place where we now stand. They give us courage to move forward, though the path ahead be uncertain. May the wonder of your love encircle us and the encouragement of your Spirit sustain us as, with confidence, we look to the future. These children belong to us all, and we claim them as our own. May we have the wisdom to discern the way that lies ahead, the determination to walk in it, the commitment to stay with it, and the compassion to give to it all the love we have. Amen. Enjoy your dinner. Oh, you were supposed to say that.
No, you can say that. I'm not going to argue with the mayor. Thank you, Mayor, for your leadership and for the example you set here for us and on a national stage. Folks, I hope you have enjoyed the art in the auction. This year we mixed it up a bit and we included art from artists, community artists, as well as from teachers. We're going to keep the art auction open for a while, probably for about another 25 minutes, so feel free to babysit your bids and to bid on more. Just want to tell you, one year, I remember when a painting went for something like $250, and the teacher whose student painted that painting said, he came up to me with tears in his eyes and said, "You just doubled my budget." So your investment in this art will have a big impact. Enjoy your meals, and we'll be back with you in about 25 minutes. And we're going to go on with the program now. Please feel free to continue with your meals. And please turn your attention to the screen for the video that I hope helps put tonight's theme and our work in context.
I think it's really important that all children in our community have the kinds of opportunities that SAF provides. They aren't extras, they're critical to a child's educational experiences and to just growing up.
This is important work and we need to do it, and that benefits everyone.
When I took the ACT, I did it without a calculator. With a calculator, I mean, I could have done so much more. Having a graphing calculator on those tests is mandatory to do well. And knowing how to use it, but you can't know how to use it if you don't have it.
Our boys and girls don't have that opportunity to get exposure or have a professional person to show them how to do things. The Student Advancement Foundation removes a lot of those barriers for us.
If you go home and your parents say, "We just don't have the money for that," well, you're probably not going to be in band or orchestra. It's just that simple. So to me, that's a big thing. You know, that makes this subject, this valuable subject, available.
In 5th grade, they had a bunch of older kids come in and show us how to play the instruments, and the trombone player played Smoke on the Water on the trombone, and I thought that was so cool.
Not just 1 or 2 new flutes or 1 or 2 new saxophones, but a lot. This has actually changed what the experience of being in the class is for the student.
Our sports programs really help kids learn about being on a team, learning responsibility, showing up at practice, doing a good job, but they also have to take care of business in the classroom. We have one particular student in third grade, Demario Montgomery, who was having a tough time this year. And once basketball season came, he really turned it around. I mean, I've been teaching for 19 plus years, and it's rare to see such a change in one person within a matter of months.
I'm able to teach them just have good sportsmanship, and if you play in a sport, have fun. It's actually fun, because I like to pass it, well, sometimes.
My hope for the Grand Rapids Public School students is the same hope I have for every student everywhere, and that is this, that they have the capability and they have the opportunity to develop their potential to the maximum extent possible.
I think our goals really come back to the mission of the organization, to remove the barriers that keep children from reaching their full potential.
So many of our children need to be able to dream that they can become everything that they want to be in life. And then my hope is that SAF and Grand Rapids Public Schools will partner together to give kids the tools they need to be able to make those dreams become a reality. And if our kids can make their dreams become a reality, then Grand Rapids and Kent County will be a much greater community in the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd now like to introduce you to the Jewel Tones, a select group of vocalists from City and Creston High Schools led by choir director Darla Jewell. Over here.
Once upon a time, a girl with moonlight in her eyes put her hand in mine and said she loved me so. But that was once upon a time, very long ago. Once upon a hill, we sat beneath the willow tree, counting all the stars and waiting for the dawn. But that was once upon a time. Now the tree is gone. Tomorrow wasn't there. Once upon a time, the world was sweeter than we knew. Everything was ours. How happy we were then. But somehow, once upon a time, never comes again. Ooh, ah. It had to be you. It had to be you. I wandered around and finally found that somebody who could make me be true, could make me be blue, or even be glad just to be sad, thinking of you. Some others I've seen might never be me, might never be cross or try to be boss, but they wouldn't do. For nobody else give me a thrill with all your faults. I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. It had to be you. Some others I've seen might never be me, might never be cross, trying to be lost. They would do. For nobody else gave me a thrill with all your faults. I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. Had to be you.
Thank you so much. The Jewel Tones. They're one of 4 choirs from around the state selected to perform at the Michigan Youth Arts Festival Vocal Jazz Day on Thursday, March 9th in Kalamazoo. One of 4 in the state. I'd like to acknowledge our host committee that helped to make Mindshare a success. Their names are in your programs, the people on that committee, and I'd like to thank them and their chairs, Karen Custer, Kathy Lloyd, and Becky Knack, for their extraordinary work. Thank you so much. They were instrumental in getting nearly 800 people here, and I'm not quite sure how many sponsors, but we've hit some records, so I'm grateful to them and to all of you for being here. I'd also like to introduce the board of the Student Advancement Foundation, and I'm going to ask our board members to stand as I call their names. We haven't done that before. It's an extraordinary board, and I'd like to recognize them. And please hold your applause until we've gotten through the list. Vice President Amy Turner Tolley, Secretary Karen O'Donovan, Treasurer Carla Grant, Emily Alleman McAlpin, Charles Ash, Deb Bailey, Tony Campbell, Rob Carpenter, Joe Crawford, Karen Custer, Maria DeVos, Ben Emden, Art Gray, David Hooker, Mark Janes, Rebecca Knack, Kathy Lloyd, Tempe Mann, John March, Lupe Ramos-Montini, Joan Secchia, Todd Walker, and our 3 ex officio members, Superintendent Teresa Weatherall-Neal, School Board President Wendy Falb, and GREA President Paul Helder. This is an extraordinary group of people, and I'm so honored to be affiliated with them and so glad that they have the work of the Student Advancement Foundation in their hands. I'd also like to introduce our small but mighty staff, all our part-time employees who give us full-time effort, and we would be nowhere without them. Director of Programs and Communication, Alyssa Mario-Scheidt, Finance Assistant, Barbara Larson, Communications and Program Assistant, Julie Way, and Executive Director, Susan Hartwell. Thank you to all of them for their work. Susan joined the Student Advancement Foundation in 2003, and there is no way to adequately represent her contributions to our success. Her dedication to our youth has been in Susan's heart and at the core of her work for decades. We've been fortunate to have 10 years of Susan before her retirement, which occurs this summer. I've called her our velvet hammer, who makes things happen in her strong, purposeful, gracious way. She's a gift to the SAF and to our city. She has been key to engendering the support and confidence of community members and educators alike. I've had the privilege of working with her, and I am honored to introduce her to the stage tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, our Executive Director, Susan Hartwell.
Thank you, Lynn, and thank you all. Well, Lynn, stay up here for a second, because one of the special joys for me for these 10 years, I think Lynn came on right about that time, is actually working with Lynn. Together, we've just had, it's been a wonderful journey to serve in that role of a linking with you, with our community and the needs of the youth of Grand Rapids Public Schools. Lynn is such a champion, such an advocate for the youth in GRPS and has made a wonderful impact. And she is just a marvelous MC, right? So Lynn, from our students, little token for you as well. You have your set as well of napkin rings, because your birthday probably wasn't going to get you a set from the table. I've had the honor to work at linking those resources of you, of all of the people in our community with the needs of our youth for 10 years, and it's been just an amazing, it couldn't be a better job and a more wonderful position to be in. And it's a little difficult to think of not being in that formal role, but I'm sure you realize I'm not going anywhere. There are some connections here that are going to keep me in the community, definitely, and continue to advocate for the youth of our community. But it will be nice to have a little more of my own time in my schedule. My work at the SAF will remain forever in my mind and heart because so many people, not the least of whom are our donors, have made our work possible. And these people don't ask us for recognition at Mindshare or in our publications. Often they don't live in the city. They don't have kids that attend our city schools. But they recognize how critical it is to level the playing field and provide our city's students with the same opportunities that are enjoyed by youth in other districts. And I would like to personally thank each one of you, of our donors. And thanks to you, we have been able to make a difference. We are profoundly grateful to our major donors, many of whom are here tonight. And many of you have walked alongside of us for many, many years. And I'm sure you did notice the scroll, and actually, Lynn, there were 63 sponsors of tonight's Mindshare, which is our largest ever. And I wanted to mention, too, that I looked back and at our first Mindshare, 16 of those sponsors, and I think there were about 25 sponsors, 16 of those sponsored that first year and have been right here every year since, and including tonight. And there's another special group of donors who really caught the vision of what the Student Advancement Foundation could be and could do. And these are our founding scholars. These individuals underwrote our operations in our formative years so that the funds that we raised could be immediately invested in supporting the youth in the district. And I want to recognize these special donors. And as I finish, then ask you to help me recognize them. The late Peter Cook, Doug and Maria DeVos, Rich and Helen DeVos, Fred and Lynn Keller, David and Linda Maney, Lena and the late Fred Meyer, Charles and Stella Royce, Peter and Joan Secchia, Peter Wegge, and John Wheeler. Would you help me thank them? Thank you. Well, the beauty and the magic of what the Student Advancement Foundation has been able to do is that we all join together on walking on this path. And we come with varying levels and different kinds of resources, but because we all join together and bring what resources we have, that's how it works. And that's why it works. I want to take a moment to mention to you, because you may not know, that there are scores and scores of employees of Grand Rapids Public Schools who, in addition to the daily time and talent and love and support of the youth, also every paycheck contribute to the work of the Student Advancement Foundation. And I would like to ask all employees of Grand Rapids Public Schools, teachers, administrators, support staff, social workers, whatever capacity, if you would stand, please. I would love our audience to be able to help express our thanks to you for all you do every day. You are very much appreciated, and it is in support of you and your work. That's the reason we are here, and hopefully you can feel that support from us. And our partners are really countless. There's so many community partners that work with us, but I just wanted to call out a few of those, because by their walking alongside of us, we really can extend the benefit to the youth in Grand Rapids Public Schools. Blandford Nature Center, the Children's Museum, Graham, Civic Theater, Grand Rapids Symphony, Meyer Gardens, UICA, Grand Rapids Public Library, and the Michigan State University Alumni Club of West Michigan. Please help me thank them. And there's one last thing that I'd like to mention that really has sweetened the last 18 months of my working at the Student Advancement Foundation, and that has been the appointment of Superintendent Teresa Weatherall Neal. With Teresa came a new sense of collaboration, a partnership that is making us better and more effective as an organization, and a spirit that has energized an entire community, making our job of engaging donors and partners a lot easier. I am very grateful to her and am honored to introduce her to you tonight. Superintendent Teresa Weatherall Neal.
Good evening. What an honor to be here before you again. This is my second time. It is just amazing, and I truly have had the best seat in the House during this past year, and for that, I am grateful. I thank each and every one of you for all that you've given our children, all the hope, the supplies from the libraries, the calculators, our health, everything. It just goes on and on. I cannot thank each of you enough for what you've done. But the greatest gift of all is a gift of opportunity. We have students in the Grand Rapids Public Schools, because of all of you and your generosity, that will be able to close the gap and make the leaps. I want to share one thing with you tonight that is really important. Because of your generosity, because of your support, we are proud to announce that we have 2 Gates Millennium Scholars in the Grand Rapids Public Schools this year. A student from Ottawa Hills High School, as well as a student from Creston High. The scholarship is worth, for each student, between $350,000 and $400,000. It is because of this community. That is what a community can do for poor children. It is the gift of opportunity. For that, I am forever grateful. I would like to ask our beloved Susan to join me on stage. Susan has just been a great partner, as well as all of the board members from the SAF. We have spent time together every month, and it's nice, the push, the pull, for them to share their thoughts, their beliefs, to help me guide this district, because I have not done it alone. It is with my Board of Education, with staff members, and with all of you in this community. And so it's just been really great. And Susan, on behalf of all of our students, 17,000 children in the Grand Rapids Public Schools, 2,800 employees, the Grand Rapids Board of Education members, we would like to thank you for all of your support, all of the help that you've given. You have been a great cheerleader for us, great ambassador. And for that, we have a small token that we would like to offer you.
I wondered what Dana was doing behind that tree.
Dana is behind. We want to present you with this book from our children, your children, Grand Rapids Public Schools, each and every school. Every school.
Thank you.
Created a picture. It's enough to bring me to tears. I did see it today. But on behalf of the Grand Rapids Public Schools, our entire family, we thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
That project was led by our very own Maggie, and I'm not sure where you are, but I know you're here. Our fine arts coordinator, Maggie Malone. She's a new addition to the team, and she's just done an awesome job on this book for Susan. Again, I thank you on behalf of the children and all of the staff members of the Grand Rapids Public Schools.
Thank you, Superintendent Neal, and you are inspiring and coalescing this community in ways that were important and necessary, and are creating just great enthusiasm for your leadership, and we are all grateful. And thank you, Susan. I have loved working with you. We haven't named our new executive director, but we are heartened by the prospects and look forward to making an announcement in the not-too-distant future. But it has been an honor and a privilege to work hand in hand with Susan. Hey, Joan, I kept my promise. Mindshare hasn't been about you. It's been about the kids and the work of the Student Advancement Foundation, and it's going to remain that day because I'm pretty sure I'd rather have Peter mad at me than you. And I even know what that's like. But I did tell a little white lie. While I think the napkin rings made by the tender hands of our students are a lovely way to honor you, we also wanted to do something that had a little more lasting impact. At the SAF, our practice is to create and fund opportunities that are available to all students district-wide, whether it's the graphing calculators or the arts experiences for for our elementary school students, or the environmental Blandford trips for the 3rd, 6th, and 9th graders. But often, opportunities arise for special programs or to provide assistance for a specific need that could make the difference in a young person's life. Like a student identified as a musical talent who would like to attend a music camp and gets a scholarship perhaps, but can't afford the uniform or the camp gear or the instrument. Or an athletically gifted student who wants to build his skills but can't afford the shoes or the tennis racket or the other equipment needed for his coaching or the coaching itself. Or like the costs of a program Joan introduced to us, an on-campus summer program at Michigan State University for sophomores and juniors who'd like to become teachers someday. It's a life-changing experience for a student who's never visited a college campus, let alone lived in dorms and worked with professors for a few weeks, but it's not free. So we decided, what better way to honor Joan than with a fund that will allow us to help remove these barriers? So tonight, I'm proud to announce the Joan Secchia Endowment Fund, a barrier-breaking fund that we're in the process of building. We are at about $380,000 right now, on our way to $500,000 in our first phase of fundraising, and we hope ultimately to $1 million so that we can provide these kinds of opportunities for our students in your honor. Thank you. We have included, as part of this opportunity, a criteria that students who benefit from the fund will be asked to pay it forward in some quiet way and report their activities to the endowment committee, so that in this way we honor your life of gracious action as well as your generosity and your devotion to our children. So thank you, Joan, for living your life in a way that has allowed us to honor it in this way. We thank you at the Student Advancement Foundation and Grand Rapids Public Schools. We are very, very grateful for your 20 years of dedicated support. Thank you. Before I get emotional or ingratiating, it's time to charge this up, and there's no better way to do that than to hand over the microphone and the evening to Sarah Smolensky. Whoa, no introduction needed, Judge Smolensky. The judge makes our community better in so many ways, and she sure knows how to make an event sing, so I'm going to leave it up to her.
Thank you, Lynn.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, honey. Okay. Well, it is indeed an honor to be here tonight. Like our superintendent said, this is my second year at the event. We had a lot of fun last year. I remember thinking last year, those screens are so huge. I should have had a facial. But I did go out and get a little power jacket, because when you're asked to come up here, well, hey, listen, I wear a black robe all day. They never see what I have on. Okay, I'll leave it at that. But when I'm up here with the likes of Joan Secchia, who's a woman of beauty and grace, and Lynn Affendulis and Susan Hartwell and our superintendent, I knew I had to get something snazzy going. So I'm just so happy to be here because it makes you feel so proud. The milestones, the miles to go, our kids. When I saw the drum corps come in, I had goosebumps. And did you? And it gave me an idea for starting court each day. I mean, maybe it's the big screen and it's getting to my head. But I was thinking that would command a presence in the courtroom. The Jewel tones were beautiful, fun, loved the songs. I don't get to hear a lot of teenagers that sweet with that kind of a message, and it made me feel proud. I loved it when Superintendent Weatherall Neal said, and from the heart, she spoke. I got to have dinner with her tonight. She and her husband, Dennis, wonderful folks. And I just happened to glimpse a little bit of information that Saturday mornings, they have a lot of people stop by their house. It's kind of like open. So I'm just casually inviting everybody here, if you ever have a chance to pop in and talk with them, Saturday mornings you will not be turned away. Teresa, yeah, she said it. She's from a family of 9, I'm from a family of 10, so we know what that's like. Something's always going on every minute. But how important it is, with this being the 10th anniversary, how important it is for all of us to literally take a walk with our kids, to take a walk, our whole community, to get behind these kids. Kids that when you deal with, and I love the administrators, the teachers, a lot in the back, some up here, I saw people standing up. We owe you a debt of gratitude for your commitment, for you always going the extra mile, for your dedication and the impact that you make on these kids' lives. Sometimes you don't know now. Sometimes you won't hear till later, much later. But look at the example of the 2 scholarship recipients. It's unbelievable, the opportunity, and that's what Teresa said. You are giving the gift of opportunity. So this year, the way the SAF has set it up, and you can look at your brochure and you can look at your documents to fill out, you are being asked to sponsor 1 kid at a time, as many kids as you can, as many kids that you want to really open up opportunities to. And we know you're here and it's like preaching to the choir, but we so appreciate it. Did you hear when the superintendent said one of the first things, I want to thank you? I love Teresa, and we don't get to see each other too often. She's busy, and I'm busy, and, you know, she's doing her whole thing, and, oh, we are so lucky to have her. Really, we are lucky to have her. And I'm a product of the Catholic schools, and there are a few sisters here. Sister Natalie Meyer at the Aquinas table, wherever you are, my spiritual leader. And, you know, I always joke about, she taught me this. Okay. Oh, yeah, I got that from the nuns. I got that from the nuns. But I went to Ottawa Hills Elementary for my kindergarten. I'm an Ottawa Hill Indian. Now you can't say Indian. And imagine I went to St. Stephen's, I was a Trojan, and they haven't changed the name. Go figure. Sorry, sister. But you want to believe in our kids, and you have the opportunity. 1 kid at a time, 1 step at a time. We have miles to go. And the milestone of this being the 10th year. And how gratifying it is to hear those wonderful names in our community who year after year after year have been here, who have pledged their dollars, their time, and their energy because they believe in the kids at the GRPS, and so do we, and that's why you're here, and we so appreciate it. I loved one of the quotes on the information tonight that said, the Chinese proverb, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Well, I'm Polish, and we always thought it was keep on trucking, keep on trucking. And that's what we're doing for our kids. We're going forward. We're going forward one step at a time. And when you think about what some of these kids have gone through, you have in your brain a thought that some of our students are homeless. They don't have a pair of tennis shoes to play ball in. Look at DeMario. Did you love that kid? I love to pass sometimes. That was me. These kids are resilient. They are resilient with what they face. And the teachers, the administrators, you know what they look at day in and day out. And you know what this opportunity that Teresa talks about is so vital and so important. That Principal Support Fund, I just want to mention that. There is a spot on your brochure that you can mark other. And you can put whatever you want down. You can name a particular school, a particular fund, a particular activity. Because it all comes back to help our kids and to give them that opportunity they so richly deserve and that they can benefit from. Sky is the limit. Miles to go, yes. But one step at a time, they're making it. And how vital it is for us to take that walk with them. Because when you say to those kids, we believe in you, they can reach for the stars. The new cost of service model, that's what they're calling it, the cost of service model. And it allows you right in here to go ahead and fill out your paperwork indicating how you want to invest in our Grand Rapids Public School kids. The pamphlet is there with the SAF Honor Society, and all of the SAF ongoing program is there listed. Do you know that last year the cross-country kids numbered 115. This year, 640. Look at the difference, yeah? Basketball, they have over 900 kids involved, like DeMario, who his teacher indicated in 1 year did a complete flip. If we can get our kids focused and positive, energetic, positive things like they're doing in the Grand Rapids Public Schools, we've got more of the jewel tones and more of the drum corps and less of my people at community service. Yeah, it's the truth. You know it's the truth. And you know, I'm in the line of work where people can get off track. People do get off track. And I think it's our responsibility to talk to them about getting back on track. And that's what we do, get back on track. So when you're thinking about this and pulling out your Visa, MasterCard, cash, or your own children, think about the impact you make. And Joan Secchia, that endowment fund, it is in your honor. And we so appreciate everything that you have done and we hope continue to do. And Peter, okay? We love that you're there too, being her main support, but Joan is our favorite. When we have some of these special programs to address the needs of the kids that you don't even think about, that we all take for granted, having a pair of tennis shoes, dental work that they needed and couldn't afford, stuff that kids need to get into a particular program, like they talked about with the instruments, or something real basic that you haven't even thought about. Those are the ways that you make an impact on these kids' lives. So think about this. From all the different areas that you can touch a child's life and help them go another step further in the right direction. And yes, these are milestones that we've talked about. And now this year, 2 scholarships. Next year, we go for more, eh, Teresa? We go for more and we go for more because the sky's the limit. The jewel tones are going to be around. They're the good-looking singers with the bright ties and the bright flowers. And they're going to be picking up your slips from the table, your pledge cards. And they're in the back, and we see you. It's just so refreshing when I listen to their songs because that really makes you feel good. And the teachers that are out there that have had students come back to you later and say, what an impact you had on my life. What an impact. English teacher, history teacher, at the time, not so great. Let's face it, at the time, not so great. Most of the time, we don't think it's so great. When we're the kids. And then we go on in our life and we realize, when you hear the young man talk about taking his test without a calculator, it's beyond some of our comprehension. It's hard to get our brain around something like that because it's so second nature. Recognize what an impact you have on these kids' lives. All right, Lynn, where are you, girl? Are we good? We're going to be filling those out. You got pens at your table. We want your help. We love your help. And yes, we say thank you for the gift of opportunity. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I just wish she had a little enthusiasm for what she did. We have determined that for us to provide our ongoing programs in each of our areas, in the environment, in art, and in literacy, it costs us $30 per child per year. And that's what's reflected in these cards. For $30, you can support our work and our support of students for $30 per child per year. So there's an opportunity in these cards to do a child, a classroom, a school, whatever works best for you, whatever what touches your heart. We're grateful for all of it. And you can take them home too. If you can't fill them out tonight, you can certainly take it home and fill it in and mail it in. I had a nice conclusion, but Smolensky is just, you know, you're so good. Anyway, I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to serve this organization and the students and the city. I have gotten so much more in return than I have given, and it has been an honor. And I look forward to being at Mindshare 2014 with all of you, and I look forward to sitting down there during the event and watching somebody else host it. I thank you for your investment in our students and your belief in our mission. And
can't let them go yet.
Well, why?
Well, because we've got the Jewel Tones out there to come around and collect your pledge cards.
You know,
we need to give you the opportunity to raise those up high. The students will come through with baskets, collect them, and let's see what we can do tonight.
So for my last Mindshare, I screwed up completely.
No.
Thank God I have no. Well, that's great. So the Jewel Tones are here. They're walking around.
They're walking through. If you're ready, hold it up.
Hold up your card. She will collect them. We'll collect them, and we'll wait for that to happen.
Well, we can.
You want to sing?
No, I don't want to sing.
You're good at that. We will do that.
Yeah. Sarah, do you have any more stories? Here comes Sarah.
Oh, God.
Actually, we thought Sarah was going to do this.
This part?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I got so excited.
Yeah, this is Sarah's part.
Okay. Oh, Jewel Tones, what was that second song? It has to be you. Lynn, it has to be you. Fill out your card. Write it on down. Give us your Visa number right now. It has to be you. $30 a year, but you notice there's a blank spot for how many students? Because we know that many of you can do 10 students, 20 students, 30 students, 50 students a year. And the impact that you have is unbelievable. Okay, I had a group of second graders that come out to court. And they actually watch the cases, second grade, and they're just so attentive and so smart. And they watched a number of cases, several of them. And afterwards, I opened it up to questions, and this little second grader raised his hand. He said, "Judge, you know that guy with the red coat on?" Well, I hadn't remembered anybody with a red coat, but he said, "The guy that shoplifted the shoes from Meijer." Sorry, Mr. Murray. Did I say Meijer? It could have been D&W. No, just kidding. This guy had gone into Meijer's and taken a pair of shoes, put them on, left his old one in the box, walked out. This second grade boy, he says, I understand the $200 fine, and he said, I think I understand the probation. It's a little bit like being grounded. I said, yeah, that's it. He said, my question is, does he get to keep the shoes? See, our kids are sharp. They're smart. And they deserve opportunities to do the best that they can, for certain. Now, I want you to take a minute and look over those cards and realize just for a donation of $30 a year per student, remembering that we have 900 students in basketball, over 600 kids in cross country, those are just some of those athletics. Soccer is a whole nother group, and then all of our SAF programs, from the museum, civic theater, Frederick Meijer Garden, giving these kids the opportunity. Did you love the shot? We're on the bench. They're on the bench, 5 or 6 kids looking at the artwork at the museum. Some of them have never seen wildlife right there in front of them. The opportunities are endless, and the opportunities for them are a true gift. The jewel tones, it had to be you. There's some at the table, right up by the gender Noahs. They're taking your pledge. They're making it big. Give to Jones Endowment on your way out. Thank you for all of your work. Thank you for all of your support. We appreciate it so, so greatly. I mentioned my friend, Sister Natalie, who's here. I know I saw her car in the parking lot. It was the one with the bumper sticker. Peter, did I tell you that? It says right on her car from the Dominican Center, honk if you love Jesus. Text if you want to meet him. Thank you for being here all tonight, and get in your pledges, ladies and gentlemen, for our children.